Hello everyone. In the previous session, we looked into the overview and the channel structure of LTE. We'll continue the discussion with the types of channels used. And here, the interface protocols being used is shown. Basically, it is categorized into two types. One is the control plane and other one is the user plane. The different protocols used are RRC, Radio Resource Control, PDCP, RLC, MAC, and physical layer. If you look into this diagram, it is very identical to the OSI layer what we can see in the computer communication. So each layer has got its own functionality and responsibility. The flow of control information or the user plane information from top to bottom fashion is getting added with the different informations at each level so that it becomes a complete frame for the transportation. The physical layer is responsible for sending these information through the communication path, maybe wireless. So let us see what we have in the explanation part. The radio resource control RRC, it performs the control plane functions including paging, maintenance and release of the RRC connections. So radio resource is the physical resource which is essential for communication. So it is purely the traffic which is being allocated for each cell. Now how the cell has to manage the radio resources available. It is the carrier frequencies available after slicing. So that is maintained by radio resource control. So RRC protocol we call it as. Also the packet data convergence protocol PDCP. This function include IP packet headers compression and decompression. This makes sure that data is being transmitted in the right way and it is heading towards the proper destination. So header compression and decompression is done over here in the PDCP. Next, we have the radio resource control RLC protocol. Here again, main function of the RLC sublayer are segmentation and concatenation of data units. So huge amount of data, a sequence of data is available from the user side to the network side or to the other way around. Its function is to segmentation and concatenation. If it is a smaller set of data, concatenate and make it a set of data which is suitable for transmission, or if it is a larger data, then segmentation is done. And also error correction through ARQ control. So there is a ARQ protocol, automatic repeat request protocol. We'll look into that in the next sessions. And in sequence delivery of packets, that is why packet switching is very essential when it is related to the delivery of packets to the destination. It operates in three different modes. One is the transparent mode, another one is the unacknowledged mode, and last one is the acknowledged mode. The transparent mode, TM we call. TM mode is the simplest one without RLC header addition, data segmentation or concatenation, and it's used for specific purpose such as random access. So basically this transparent mode is used to give the access to the network when the mobile is initially turned on. All the free resources available from the network side, maybe E node B to the mobile phone is transmitted through transparent mode. In unacknowledgement mode, here this example UM is suitable when there is no acknowledgement is required. Here, detection of packet loss and provides packet reordering and assembly, but does not require transmission of the same. It is just sending the information without worrying about the guarantee of delivery. Next one is the acknowledged mode. So acknowledged mode is a complex one because it requires feedback from the receiver to the transmitter for the retransmission of the missing videos in addition to the feature supported by the unacknowledgement mode. So it is an advanced version of unacknowledgement mode with the feedback taken. So it is called as acknowledgement mode or AM. Then we have the medium access control MAC. So MAC is available in network side as well as user side. That is from the E node B as well as from the user entity. So error correction through the hybrid ARQ mechanism, mapping between logical channels and transport channels, multiplexing, demultiplexing of RLC PDUs on the transport blocks, priority handling between logical channels of the UE and priority handling between UEs by means of the dynamic scheduling. All these are the main functions of the MAC. MAC is also responsible for transport format selection and some other operations which we practically experience when we discuss about how UE is responsible for accessing the network. That we'll see in the future sessions. Then the physical layer, it's the actual layer which transports the information. The main function of the physical layer or physical protocol here, physical layer protocol, transmission and reception of the data forms in the transport blocks. Physical layer is also responsible for various control mechanisms such as signaling of HIRQ feedback, signaling of scheduling allocation, and channel measurement for channel quality. So this is how the data flows in the network from the PDCP to the RLC physical layer. So each IP packet is moved through the different layers. So header is added in the PDCP, that is what we call as header compression and decompression. Then RLC header is added here, RLC protocol is run, then the MAC protocol, which makes sure that what mode of operation, what mode of transmission is decided, and type of channel being used and type of data being used. Then the physical layer, which is responsible for sending the information through the network. So this is the hierarchy from the PDCP. In the diagram, you can see there are some service access points like logical channels, transport channels, and the operation of each protocol is mentioned here. We'll look into each operation one by one. So here is the logical channels. What logical channel? What it does? What it transmits? Logical channels are used by the MAC layers. In the diagram, you can see where is the logical channel. It is from the RLC layer to the MAC layer. It is the service access point we can see, and also MAC layer to the physical layer. It is the transport channel. So physical layer requires a transport channel decided by the MAC layer, and MAC layer requires the logical channels which are decided by and released by RLC layer. So we'll see one by one. There are two types of operations here: logical control channels and logical traffic channels. So logical channel is taking care of two things. One is the control information, other one is the traffic information. Control informations are the commands to be passed between user entity and network so that communication is established. It includes establishment of network and making sure that what is the compression rate, what is the data rate, what is the type of channel being used. So what is the frame rate at which it is being transmitted, and also the acknowledgement informations and quality of signals. All these are the control informations. Whereas the traffic, it is the exact data to be transmitted is passed through logical traffic channels. So these are the channels being used for control informations. One is a broadcast control channel. In short, it is called as a BCCH, multicast control channel, paging control channel, common control channel, and dedicated control channels. So these are the control channels being used by the control to send the control information through logical channels. And these are the traffic channels, dedicated traffic channel and multicast traffic channels. As the name indicates, dedicated is to one-to-one communication traffic channels. We can take the example of a land phone previously used circuit switch network, where from sender to talker to the receiver, there is a freezed line, dedicated line. So such traffic is established through dedicated traffic channel. And multicast traffic channels, multicasting is one to many. So here selected set of people are receiving the same information simultaneously or one after the other. So that is done through multicast traffic channels. So transport channels, how it transmits. So it is a physical layer which is sending the information from the MAC layer to the physical layer. Transport channels are released. So transport channels are used by the physical layer to offer service to the MAC. So it is acting as a master and slave. Transport channels is basically characterized by how and what characteristics of the data are to be transferred. So LTE defines basically two MAC entities, as I mentioned earlier. One is in the UE and other one is in the UTRAN. It is also called as eNode B in LTE mode. So downlink transport channels. Downlink transport channels is one transport channel which is responsible for transmitting the downlink data, including both control as well as traffic data. And it is supporting HIRQ, dynamic link adaptation, dynamic and semi-persistent resource allocation. You can see these are direct activities related with the phone calls or mobile phone calls. Then we have the broadcast channels. As the name indicates, a downlink channel. As we know, broadcast can be done from network side to the user side. So it's a one-way communication. The downlink channels associated with the BCCH logical channels and is used to broadcast system information for the entire coverage area of the cell. So it includes cell information and other informations of that particular geographical area covered by that particular cell. It has fixed transport format defined by the specifications. Then we have the multicast channels, as we have already seen broadcast information. Similarly, we have broadcast and multicast channels. So here multicast channels, MCH, it is associated with the multicast control channels and multicast transport channels. Then the paging signals, these are basically used when there is a requirement for the making of a call. It is associated with the PCCH logical channels, and it is mapped to dynamically allocated physical resources and is required for broadcast over the entire cell coverage area. When we initiate any call, then paging channels are first accessed for sending the information. It is transmitted on a physical downlink shared channel and supported in LTE. Basically, it is a UE which is accessing paging channels. Then we have, just similar to the downlink transport channels, we have the uplink transport channels. You can see the categorization. Uplink shared channels, ULSCH, it is a counterpart of DLSCH. Just like downlink information, the uplink informations are also transmitted through transport channels. And we have the random access channels, RACH, a specific transport channel that is not mapped to any logical channels. It transmits relatively small amount of data for initial access or in case of RRC and state changes. Here, when the phone is in switched off mode to and it is moving into on mode, or when it is in the idle mode to the active mode, all these cases the random access channels are used. So random access channels are basically used to access the network available in that particular area. Download control information, it is identity, it is just like a flag. This flag is identity information is used to, it carries the information related to downlink and uplink, scheduling, assignment, modulation, and coding. All these are related to the communication mode by which it is transmitted, what are the physical downlink channels being used. All these are discussed in this particular format. And also control format indicator, it is called as a CFI. It indicates how many symbols the DCA stands in that particular subframe. There are different types of subframes. Accordingly, this CFI will make sure that how the information is being transmitted and how many symbols are being held by that particular subframe. It takes the value of 1, 2, or 3 and sent over the physical control format indicator channel. Then we have the HARQ indicator. As we have already seen, hybrid ARQ indicator, it is the acknowledgement mode. It is making sure that the data is being received properly at the receiver side. So HARQ is 1 for a positive acknowledgement and HI is equal to 0 for negative acknowledgement. It is called as ACK and NAK. Similarly, we have the uplink control information, UCI. It is for measurement indication on the downlink transmission scheduling. Request for the uplink and the HARQ acknowledgement. Now the uplink control information UCI can be transmitted either in the physical PUCCH or it can be used as PUSCH. So this is the DCA formats. This just to understand format 0, format 1 and different subscales we have in the formats and what information being transmitted by the particular format. So this is about channels and how it is used for the particular application. In the next session, we will look into some other information about the channels and how it is being used in the frame information and frame formats. Thank you.